So now you both are able to understand this, right? Deep cloning, like
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
what exactly happening, right? So, any reference. So basically, it's pretty straightforward. Shallow cloning is pretty straightforward. Deep cloning is bit complex if you don't know the implementation. Basic idea behind deep cloning implementation is we have to figure it out. Okay, this is the reference, this is the reference. So if I create a separate copy for these two, right, which I'm doing it right here with the same exact value, it means what is happening in cloning? So object, we are creating a separate object, but the value that these objects are going to have is same, right? So that concept I'm following, I am fetching the old, okay, the real object values, and then I'm creating a new object. And then again here I'm pointing to this, which is real object value, and which I created two new reference objects here. And then I created a new object, and then I'm returning that one. So every time, so you can create 100 of clones, right? If you create 100 clones also, it will have a separate copy every time it will create. So you'll have one, right? So object one will have same, it will perform the same thing. It will get the separate copy, right? So this thing is clear to you all, right? No issue, any issue in understanding? No, right? Clear?
No, Abhinav. Just to know, like, do we have any specific scenario where we will be using this deep cloning?
Okay, I will tell you there are maybe you would not directly use, but your application, right? The framework that you are using, right? They might internally use
Okay.
it, and there might be a scenario.
Oh,
Let take a scenario where you are having uh, a object which have 20 properties. Okay, right
okay.
now we are having only two properties, right? So you said, okay, why to clone? I can directly create, right? So let's
Yeah.
prove you are having a 20 properties here, right? And
Mm-hmm.
what I ask you, you know that okay, the 19 you are going to you are having one object which have all these details, name, all everything, address same. Okay, everything is same. All this property is going to be same. Only name and roll number is going to change. Okay, let's assume you are maintaining a family record where name and phone number will change and age will change, and there are other 18 properties which is going to be same, right, for that family. So what you will do, you every time will create an object, or it's better to clone the object and then modify these three values, right?
Yeah, yes, yes.
You are able to understand, right, what I'm saying? Let's assume there is a
Yeah,
class
yes.
called a family or a person. Okay, person is having 20 properties. The next person is going to have all 18 properties same. Only two will change. So what you will do? You will pass as a constructor. You will use setters. No. What you will do? You will just clone that. Okay, I'm just giving. This is a very basic example that I'm giving you. Okay. Uh, let's assume you are having an object, and on that object you want to perform some manipulation. Okay, you are updating XYZ thing, but you want to keep the initial state of that object, right? You are understanding what I'm saying? So let's assume, okay, why people used to clone? So that let's assume I have this object one and object two. Mm, these two objects are there. So I know that object one and object two right now holding same values, right? Everything is same, right? Object one, object two. What it is, in object one, I perform something like object one val, I added 20. One second. Object one val equal to val. So what I did, I just added 20. So this type of any logic, any mathematical logic or anything people used to perform, and they perform, and then later they want to check ki what is the after manipulation, what is the difference that we get. So how we'll do that? You have to preserve the state initially, right? So with the help of cloning, you preserve the state here, right? Object 2. Now you can compare. If so, just as a simple straightforward example, you might have a complex logic here, right? I'm just giving a demonstration here, right? So I have this bhal, I've checked. After manipulation, it is less than or greater than object 2 dot val. So of course, if it is greater than, I can perform something, less than perform something. So this type of, if you need this type of thing, you can do that, right? Let assume you can keep one copy with yourself, another copy you will pass to certain methods, right? Or you send somewhere, right? So while doing that, it will help. Okay, clear?
Yeah, yes, Abhinav.
Okay. So now you initially you ask one question, right? So initially what question you ask, like string and string buffer, string builder, right? See,
Yeah, yeah.
so to answer your question, why I have not answered your question, the reason is to answer your question, I have to explain you two things. Okay, one is mutability, another one is immutability. Because already I told you with reference type, shallow cloning will point to the same address, right? That already I
Yes.
explained you. But in case of string, okay, the string is immutable. So if you modify string, okay, so string nature is if you modify the content of the string, it will create a new object. Okay,
Correct.
so that is the reason why I'm explaining in detail here, because other might not know about mutability, immutability. So anyhow, when we go to string buffer, string builder, I will explain everything. But right now you remember, string is immutable in nature. So if you modify, it will create a new object, right? Clear? So that is the reason in shallow cloning or in deep cloning, if you are having string as a reference, there is no impact. Okay, it will always create a separate copy by default. Clear to you all?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But the where is the catch? The catch in string buffer and string builder. So which you might not aware about that. And anyhow, I'm going to teach mutability, immutability. But right now you remember when you have a string buffer and string builder. So in that case, shallow cloning will behave as it's behaving right now. Okay. And deep cloning, you have to create how I'm creating a separate object, right? For W obj, right? For W and X, right? You see here. I'm creating these two objects. Similarly, if you are having string buffer or string builder, you have to do that because they are mutable in nature. Clear?
Okay, got it.
So it's not about cloning, it's about their nature of mutability, immutability, right? We have to do that here. If a string is immutable, if a string is mutable, for string also we're supposed to do this. Okay, but a string is immutable in nature, and that is the reason we are not doing it. Clear? So you guys got clear idea, right? If anyone asks you about cloning, you guys can answer it, right? So
Yeah, yes.
code also I have written pretty straightforward, pretty clear code. So you have to go through the code. Okay. So no issue. If anyone asks, like you ask usability, right? So already I told you we are preserving original state, right? So if you want to preserve the state and then later you want to do any manipulation on the cloned object, you can do that and later on you compare, right? And second thing I told, like if let assume if you want to create a new object and you want to have all the values should be same. So it's you can directly clone it, which save your time, right?
Yes,
Yes.
right.
So no issue. So these two things, why there are other use also, but these two use right now you guys can understand, and it's easy and straightforward. The other user there, like there are certain design pattern which we use, right? So that is called a prototype design pattern. So right now we are not learning design pattern. So talking about that, it doesn't make sense. You might understand, might not. So anyhow, when I go to this design pattern, anyhow, I will teach you a certain design pattern, single tone and prototype, facade, and then adapter design pattern. So these 4 5 design pattern I'm going to teach you, okay, as a part of this course. So I will anyhow explain at that time, right? When I perform prototyping, so you will come to know that okay, I'm because it's create every time create a new object with the same details. So anyhow, it will utilize clone, right? So you will come to know that I will explain that time, right? So
Okay.
no, clear, right? And then when we're going with collections and all, so there also when you perform clone, right? Let us have a list of uh, 30 vegetables, right? My mother said add two more, create a new list. So what I will do? I will create a new list again. I will clone that one and add two more into that, right?
Okay.
Right. If I update in the same one, I don't know, like initially what my mother said and she said later. So this type of things that will do it. Okay. So never thought like I have not I have missed something. Intentionally, I have not explained a certain part which is not feasible right now. Okay. So
Yeah. Okay.
if I talk about performance or logics and all right here, you will not understand. So what you supposed to understand right now is what is cloning, how many types of cloning you have, how to perform cloning, right? If I have to perform deep cloning, what is the way, how to write it? If I have to perform solid cloning, what is the way, how to write it? And then, as you said, right, Punita asked, if I'm having a string, so why for a string, why I'm not creating a new object? Why, how directly it's getting created? Because it's immutable. So interviewer will ask, what is immutability? That you cannot answer right away. When we learn after memory management, we'll learn string buffer, string builder, you will know. First, we'll learn mutability, immutability. Okay. So no question. Everything is crystal clear here, right?
Yes. Yes, Sabina.
Okay, fine then. So next class, we'll have our JVM memory management. So we'll learn a basic memory management, heap memory, stack memory method and all. And then we'll move to string buffer. Okay, why we are learning JVM first and string buffer later? Because in string, right, we learn about string constant pool. Okay, so in that time we have to know that okay, where this string constant pool exist, what is heap memory, what is static memory and all. So that is the reason we are learning first memory management. Okay. Okay, fine. I will upload these videos, cloning videos. I will combine this everything in one and I will upload. Everyone have to go through. I will ask each of you separately to, I will give a class and I will ask you to write a deep cloning logic for that class. Okay. So you
Yeah,
must
sure.
prepare for
Yeah.
that. Okay. Then if you have any question,